We are live. Hey everybody,
Live.
Horrifying.
Hey.
we are in we are live in anticipation of hitting our funding goal for the Kickstarter, the Stargate SG-1 role-playing game Kickstarter.
So close.
And
So
yeah, we got like one more backer, and that's it. That's all we need.
Yeah, who's the person going to put us
here we
over?
go. I'm showing the count.
Oh,
Hey!
oh, oh!
Oh,
Hey, there
There
it
it
is. That's
is.
it.
Woo!
Party poppers. That was party poppers. Party poppers. One more. I think. I'll shoot at the camera.
Hey! Awesome. Well, thank you guys. This has been really fast funding. What is it, guys? How many hours did we
3
just take?
hours?
uh,
Almost 4?
let's see.
3 hours, 45 minutes.
Three
Yep,
hours,
3 hours
45.
45 minutes. Yeah.
It's pretty darn good. So thank you guys for joining us. This is one of the creative groups, mainly a good portion of it. Uh, my name is Brad Ellis. I'm the CEO of Wyvern Gaming. Um, Down below we've got Wes Walker. He's the chief operating officer. We've got Mac Martin, who's the lead designer on the project, and we have Lee Alley, who is editor in charge of the part of the Living campaign for second season, and he's also one of the writers on the project. So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you guys for helping us out make a great game. We want to thank all. We know everybody's excited. We're extremely excited about this project. We've been working on it for quite a while. It's been a labor of love here recently, for sure. We started this project. It's probably been 2 years. The plan was actually to have kickstarted this back in February, but then the coronavirus happened, and we decided to delay for a bit. And that's actually allowed us to create a better game, I think, overall. Um,
Yeah.
As the guy writing most of the rules in the book, I've not disliked having the extra 6 to 9 months.
yeah, you like that, huh?
Not going to complain. Never going to complain about that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, some things to look forward to in the Kickstarter. We are looking to obviously keep going with the funding now that we're actually funded. Uh, we've got some stretch goals that we are looking to hit. So the first set of those stretch goals, the first one is coming up will be the 40,000 number, and with that one we're looking at doing the patch. So if you look at the Phoenix site patch, which is you can see it part way down the Kickstarter page under the command site area. There's a Phoenix site patch design. So that's going to be turned into an actual physical patch that you can sew on or iron on to your sleeves for role playing purposes. Then after that, we are looking at adding some new content to the book itself. So we'll be adding some more Goa'ulds and planets and those kinds of contents once we hit 55. Then we have a cool thing. We have a Gate Master screen. So Gate Masters are what we're calling our Game Masters in this game. So the Gate Master screen will be what you would use to roll your dice behind, and it's going to have some really cool things on the front for some nice art, and on the back side, stats and things that you can use. That's at the 70,000. 85,000, this is a cool one. We're going to create a digital online character sheet, so you'll be able to go to stargatetherepg.com and build out a character using basically kind of options that you can choose from, so it just makes the building of a character a bit easier. Then at 100,000, once we reach that, we have a side mission that we will publish. So this is an adventure that you could go on. We call them episodes in the Stargate campaign, in the Stargate SG-1 role-playing game. Episodes are the missions that you would go on as your player characters, and that particular mission will be playable in our Living RPG series. which I'll talk about a little bit later. But this will be a standalone adventure that you'll be able to play. As you can imagine, because it's labeled Side Mission 1, there might be more of these to come as we reach more stretch goals. And also, there are more stretch goals that we will be revealing as we go. So as soon as we hit a stretch goal, we'll reveal the next one. So look forward to that as we go. So we ask you guys to help us spread the word. So get out there on Twitter and things and get the word out, because the more that we can fund, the bigger the stretch goals get, and the more stuff is available. Also, we just the bigger the pledge gets, the more backers we have, and the more people that can help contribute to the game. If you haven't done so already, there's a quick start guide that you can download and look at. You can also head over to stargaterpg.com, and you can still download the beta playtest rules, which you can get a deeper dive look at the rules itself. And there's pre-gens over there and lots of things that you can look at. So
join the community, make
yeah,
a group, start a team.
that's right. So anybody else? Anybody have anything they want to add?
Do you want to mention the playtest that's going to happen on the 18th or 16th, 18th? Crap, I forgot.
It's the 18th, and
18th, yeah.
I'll be sending out another update on that here soon. But sneak peek is we're going to have some guest stars playing the Stargate SG-1 role-playing game live, part of the Dial the Gate program that David Reed has put together. So if you haven't subscribed to Dial the Gate on YouTube, I would strongly suggest you do so, because there's some good content coming out this month, both for obviously Stargate in general, but also for our role-playing game here. So that's to come.
So exciting.
Yeah, very, very exciting. Anybody else?
Well, as a fan of Stargate, yeah, it's been a long time coming, and getting involved with the playtest was so much fun. And now we're here. It's happening, and that's what's really exciting. Being a huge Stargate fan. That yeah, didn't think we'd make it. Just kidding, we made it, and just really excited to come for it.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long road. This has been quite a long project, considering we had the virus in the middle here and everything. But like I said, it's really helped in the design. Mac, how's it been for you to do the design work on this project?
The design work itself has been really smooth. It's been a lot of fun to have a clear vision on something like this, especially because we're not just making a role playing game. We're making a role playing game that mimics a TV show, right? The players at the table aren't just rolling dice and playing the game. They're creating a TV show at their table.
Yeah.
That's in line with SG-1 and the narratives we came to love in the Stargate universe. And being able to do something so kind of quirky, but at the same time that had such a smooth transition from the 5th edition rule set, really has been a lot of fun. So I'm just excited to see other people get to play it and see the final version of it as we get all the spit and polish done.
Yeah, and I'm really excited and looking forward to actually getting the ball rolling with the Living campaign. We've been on our end playtesting, developing. I'm excited to see what Lee's going to come up with for season 2.
Yep.
I see tidbits here and there from the development team there, and definitely like what I'm seeing. But I don't like to see too much, because I want to play it.
You want to play, yeah. You want to be surprised when the thing happens. And
I kind of got a little spoiled on season 1, because like season 1 was, I knew everything that was happening in season 1, and it was one of those, when you play it, just it doesn't have that shock effect,
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying not to
Yeah,
metagame
yeah.
a little bit, maybe.
for
so
sure. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know about our living campaign, what we're talking about, we have a set of episodes coming out. We have a 13 season uh, arc that are published in the sets of season. So season one started. We did the first plays of the first 3 episodes at Gen Con this past August. It was wildly successful. Those soon will be available for purchase on StargateTheRPG.com. We're working through some final edits of those, and once those are up, we will also be publishing our next round of those, and we're going to continue publishing episodes throughout the year until we get to the final one and the 13th one, which will release at Gen Con 2021, where will be the end of the first season, and we will also be launching the start of the second season. So looking forward to that. That's going to be lots of fun. Those are living. It's a living series, meaning that you create a character and you have the ability to play your character from table to table through, even though there's different GMs that are running it. So think of it as
organized play.
Yeah, think of it as organized play. So it's there's basically 2 types of ways to play the game, right? There's a homebrew where you have a GM who's running the game from week to week at your home. And then you have the living campaign, which can also be ran at home, but convention play is where it shines because you can play from table to table and take your character from each of those tables with different GMs. And
Right. Basically, it's being honored. Your character and the equipment and everything that you have is being honored no matter where you go with it. Because it's organized play. If you were to, say, create a homebrew game and play homebrew, then nobody knows that if you just created this level 5 out of nowhere, you never actually leveled from 1 to 5. But with organized play, you actually have to, show proof that you've gotten to that point.
yeah, and all the
Stops the cheaters.
character stuff is tracked. You can go to StargateTheRPG.com and create a character, and all that information will be tracked on the adventures, the episodes you played there. And GMs, Gate Masters will also get some rewards. They'll get GM points that will be used as prestige points, basically, that we'll have later uses for that we'll talk about. What else do we want to talk about?
What I think was interesting is myself with the other writers helping form the story arc for season 1. What's great is when you play the game, there's an after action report that did this thing happen? Did this NPC survive? Did we do this thing? Did we save the day? Did we all just die? Things like that we want to hear about because you're going to help influence future storylines. Will this NPC stick around? If the majority of the games, the sessions, the missions that NPC survived, they might show up in future episodes in season 2. So that's really exciting that the fans, players can help form season 2 and so on further. So that's really exciting
for sure.
Or the players have the ability to make a minor character into someone more later. Because I think in our first episode, I won't go into too much detail, but our first episode in the living campaign, there's a particular character that you might meet in the barracks. And that person was just a minor character. Well, a lot of people kind of liked that character, so we're probably going to do more with that character, make him show up again later.
Yep,
Definitely.
for sure.
Yep.
Lee, do you want to talk about the setting, like when it takes place during SG-1, the living campaign?
Sure. Our first season takes place
Oh
season
crap!
6 episode.
I forgot to replace the XX on the update. Sorry, go ahead.
From yeah, so we're diving into season 6 of Stargate. That's really when it starts. That's where all the action's happening, and I mean, I guess I don't want to say too much about season 1, but
You can say
let's just say that
where it started and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. We're forming new alliances where your team is kind of new recruits, kind of. You're new to the Stargate program, and you have to go through some fun training and some unexpected things that may happen to you that challenge your players to make sure that they belong in the Stargate program, that they will succeed and work together with all the other alien races and cultures that have been discovered that will be working with the SGC. And that's really interesting to see now. It's not just the Tari; it's a whole bunch of people that are teaming up together to defeat those pesky Goa'uld.
Pesky Gwauld.
Indeed.
Pesky
Sorry, I was
Goa'uld. Yes.
distracted updating the update.
I can keep vamping, I guess.
It's okay.
I don't want to say too much, but let's just say that there is a possible new threat, a Goa'uld threat that may be antagonizing your players, and it might become personal as we keep going through these missions and episodes. You might have to see if you can survive this very intimidating new Goa'uld threat. So I guess it's a tease for
Yeah, that's great.
season 1.
Yeah.
Don't want to say too
As
much.
David Hewlett would say, Stargate shenanigans.
It's
Shenanigans.
all sorts of shenanigans, and we had a ton of fun shenanigans during Gen Con. I'll say, like every episode, there was different types of shenanigans, and that was really fun to do.
Yep, for
Run
sure.
games for Gen Con, yeah.
Hey Mac, would you mind maybe talking about what makes this game different from 5th edition a little bit?
Sure. We've got a few mechanical differences. For the most part, you should see the engine you're familiar with: attributes, saves, skills. Obviously, our skills are a little different because 5th edition doesn't have science and computers in it, right? Like they don't have engineering. We do. But other than that, you'll see a lot of the bones of 5th edition that you're very familiar with. Uh, our power progression is a little different because you face a lot more humanoid forces. You're dealing with a lot of Jaffa and other human beings, as well as random alien monsters. But the big difference is that we are focused on making a television show, not just a role-playing game. It's a role-playing game that mimics specifically a 1990s style high action, TV science fiction television program. And that means we do things like we set the tension die. The tension die is one of our mechanics. It changes from episode to episode, sometimes scene to scene, and it allows the GM to ratchet in the lethality of the episode. So sometimes you have a comedic episode, which is only a D4, and that just means players are not going to die. We're focused more on the banter. Combat is designed to be more comedic, but it'll go all the way up to a D12, in which case player death is very likely. Someone could get taken out very rapidly. And that tension die works throughout the game, both in your feats and your abilities, as well in how you defeat mooks. If there's extras where you're just fighting 10 guys who are, 10 random nameless Jaffa, you might use the extra rules, and that uses the tension die to determine how quickly you can defeat them. And then we also have a lot of little ways those mechanics interact with the rules, so that I don't know, a good example is poison. Poison is all based on the tension die, because in a TV show, how lethal a poison is varies from episode to episode, even if it comes from the same creature, based on the tension of the scene. And let's see, what other mechanics are there that are big ones? The determination points, which are not hero points. They're not action points like you might expect. They're very much a plot encounter mechanic, so that there's something to wager and win when you're doing things like convincing that guard to get past the door. Because like a TV show, you're not looking at 3 fights per episode. If they had 3 fights per episode, it'd be one of the most expensive television shows ever produced. Instead, a lot of the action and the drama comes from trying to convince that senator not to cut funding, trying to go to a diplomatic function and make peaceful contact, trying to get somebody off of who's being tried for a murder they didn't commit, as you investigate that murder to find the real villain and present that information to the judge. All those kind of things are still mechanical challenges that the players can interact with tactically, but they're not life or death situations where the hit points are being tracked. So for
Right.
that, we have elimination pool.
Did you mention Moxie yet?
Oh, Moxie, that's the other one. In your standard fifth edition game, initiative is based on dex, but that's not the case in Stargate. Initiative is either dex or wisdom, your choice, and Moxie is used in your non-combat situations for the plot encounters and those role-playing scenes where uh, turn order matters, and that's based on charisma or intelligence. So characters are a lot more flexible, and there's dexterity is less of a mono critical stat in Stargate like it is in the other versions of D&D
Right.
over the years. Frankly, I mean, dexterity's always been a very strong stat.
Mm-hmm. Someone in the chat asked, what made us choose 5e over something like Fate?
Accessibility. Fate's a good system. I really like it, but fifth edition is the current most popular role-playing game in the world, and we wanted to match it to Stargate, which is one of the most popular sci-fi settings in the world. It's a natural connection, and the rules really work well for an easy to pick up and learn game.
Yeah, our Wyvern Gaming's core tenet basically is approachable games for everyone, and we like to have games that we can. It's easy to learn and quick to pick up, and fifth edition was the perfect thing to include for that particular purpose. But not only is it easy to learn, but it's also advanced enough to keep power players very happy and satisfied.
Right.
I really enjoy systems like Fate and Fudge and Cortex and all those, but with fifth edition, we also get to make a tactical game where there is risk and reward. And I mean, you can do those in those more storyteller driven games, but with fifth edition, you can give a little crunch to the player who wants to run a soldier and really feel like they're making tactical, where am I moving and who am I dealing with and how do I, what tricks does my character have up his sleeve? So it's nice to have those real crunchy mechanics.
For sure. Yep. But Stargate's not all about combat, and so that's one of the things we wanted to make sure that we built a game that had just as much important about the social interactions that you did about combat. So in fact, they did the deduction stuff probably more than they did actual combat in the show itself.
We've also got some other encounters too that are outside of combat and outside of social. We have our pursuit encounter, our traversal. I mean, so
Yeah, traverse encounters replace the traditional random encounter charts. So you can actually have them trying to get across half a continent or even sneak through a city. Like they're very flexible encounter types. And
For
that's
sure.
a fun one.
Yeah.
Card.
Yeah, I think the encounter types are one of the cool things that we added to the fifth edition games for sure.
I guess that's something we should talk about a little bit, huh?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I guess that's me, huh?
Yeah.
Encounters are what most players, when they think of an encounter in D&D, they think of what we call a skirmish, which is a grid map fight or a theater of the mind fight where characters are moving and making their actions. But we have so many other encounter types that you might see in a game, from convince, where you're just convincing a guy, to pursuit, where you're chasing or being chased. Dogfighting, we've got aerial combat in there. We've got traversal,
firefight,
firefights, which is a very different situation than a skirmish. In a skirmish, you're worried about the exact 1 meter area you're in, or 5 foot, or 1.5 meters, whatever your scale you decide to use. You're very concerned about where your character is specifically on the map. But in a firefight, it's more like you're in a vague 30-meter section, right, or 10-meter section. Like you're in this.
It was 10 meters, yeah.
Yeah, you're in this building firing out. You're up on this ridge overwatching this canyon. And it's still a tactical game. You're still playing a combat scenario where you're making tactical decisions, but it's just a very different way to handle an encounter. Looks more like when you see a show and there's somebody watching from a satellite in the ready room, and they're feels more like one of those scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're really excited. The playtest has been really good. we've been having our public playtest since February, and it's been going off really well. We've gotten tremendous feedback. Lots of people have enjoyed it and the additions that we've made. And if you haven't yet already, I'll say it again: go download the beta rules and give it a rule and give us your feedback, because we want to make this the best Stargate game we possibly can, and it is with help from fans like you that's going to help us do that. You guys are here on day one of this Kickstarter because you're big Stargate fans, big D&D fans, or just role playing fans, and that's the type of people that this game is for. Is we want to make this the best game that we can. So your feedback is strongly welcome. Chat us up in the Kickstarter comments. We also have a Discord channel, which you're welcome to join as well. I'll actually post a link to it both in this video and in the Kickstarter comments. So you guys can join us over there for those conversations. What else, guys? I think we've said quite a bit here in this first little thing.
Yeah, I think we're.
I see someone had a question. If are players conscious that they are actors in a TV show? I really like that because it depends on the episode. If it's more of a cheeky episode or if it's more dire. But I have used this excuse of, yeah, you can't go over there because there wasn't money in the budget for that set. Every alien planet is a version of Canada. So there's definitely some fun metagaming that can be had, and especially if your character is kind of a Jack O'Neill type of has a snarkiness to him. Go for it. It's fun.
My favorite thing is to make my players cast their character. I've spent all my session zeros. I have my players all on IMDb going through, and let me tell you, there's a lot of interest to see Nathan Fillion in some form of Star Trek.
Stargate.
Oh, whoa, my
whoa!
Watch out!
Whoa,
that actually was one of my picks too, to see Nathan Fillion in Stargate.
Yep, and
I had 3 Nathan Fillions at one table once.
So when are we going to revisit this, Brad? We're going to come back to this at the 24-hour mark, or are we going to?
Yeah, we're going to be doing these live streams throughout the Kickstarter, various times. So just look for updates, and when we do, we'll throw it up on. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Obviously, you're following us here on the Kickstarter, and you will get updates as they occur. And when we do them, you'll be notified. So cool.
If you haven't already, go sign up.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. And that is our live stream. Appreciate it.